Hello fellow board gamers, I am Marcel, you are with the Lords of the Board Games. This video is mostly in English, but we also have a little bit of German here today. Hallo ihr Brettkarten- und Tabletop-Spieler, Marcel von den Herren der Spiele. Überwiegend läuft das Ganze hier heute auf Englisch, denn wir haben Balasz, den Designer von Legacy of Thrackes. Aber ich übersetze das Ganze zu Beginn und zu Ende des Videos für euch in Deutsch, sodass ihr zumindest das wichtige Feedback auch auf Deutsch habt. Today we have a look with the designer, with Balasz, at the awesome Shadow Player mode. This is the one versus many mode and of course the solo co-op experience. So stay with us when we jump right into the action. Heute gucken wir uns den wirklich unglaublich starken Shadow Player Modus an, also den One vs Many Modus. Ich verrate nicht zu viel, wenn ich sage, das ist der mir am meisten gefällt. Und wir gucken uns auch den Solo Co-op Modus an. Ihr könnt am Ende des Videos auf jeden Fall den letzten Timestamp benutzen, um euch das deutschsprachige Feedback anzugucken. Aber jetzt geht's direkt los mit dem Gameplay.
Yeah.
So you have that solo mode. I read about that.
Yes. But before the solo mode, you have to be familiar with the shadow mode too, because it is based on that.
Yeah, great. So let's now talk about the shadow mode. The shadow mode is here on the right side of the board, the shadow power. You have to look at that.
Yes, exactly. And in this case, so in the clan mode, all players go to enter the Dimara as fast as they can. But in the shadow mode, this is the shadow hero. The shadow hero's goal is to prevent the other heroes from reaching Dimara.
Ah, cool.
So it's like 1 versus 3, but it's still a competitive game because the other other three heroes are the clan heroes: the warrior, the engineer, and the mage. So, and they have to cooperate, and they have to communicate, and they have to make sacrifices together to slow down and weaken the shadow character.
You need to know that one versus many is the kind of game I love most.
So they have to really cooperate, because if they don't do it, all of them will lose the game probably. But it's still a competitive game, so because at the end there can be only one winner. So at the right moment, they can attack each other too. Still. So what is the difference in this mode?
Yeah.
This is the
so this is some kind of advanced mode now. Yeah, you could play the game with just the base game, but now we introduce the shadow player, which is an advanced game mode.
There is the base mode, which is a symmetric mode without the character specific things. Then there is the clan mode. I showed the clan mode previously, with the different action cards and then character development skills and so on. And the third mode is the shadow mode, where the shadow player want to prevent the others from their goal. And in this mode, how works it? How does it work? So this is the sources of darknesses, because the shadow player doesn't want to go into the mana. So that player won't complete the magical barriers. So the shadow player will use the items, the relics and the crystals in another way. And one way is to activate the sources of darknesses. And as you will see, we have 6 sources of darknesses.
Revenge, obstruction, immobility, frustration, rancor, and control, correct?
Yes, exactly. And the shadow player can put items here, and if it's full, it is activated. And after that, it is a permanent negative effect.
Okay, one question. does it matter which items I put there, or doesn't it matter?
This is
This
the
is the
relic.
relic, and that's the crystals there. But the color of the crystals does not matter.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, I understand. Moving between location costs +1 gold for a clan hero. So that weakens the other players.
Yes. It's
Great.
bad for the other players. Yes.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, because I'm always the one who has to play against the others, so that's good for me.
Yeah, and actually the shadow is the most the strongest character by default.
It's the strongest. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's alone. He plays on his own. He has to fight the
Yeah.
others.
Exactly. Yeah. So that player can activate those sources of darknesses and some others. So use a portal +3 gold. Yeah. So they can hurt the other players. This is one thing. The second thing is this shadow power track. And by the time it is always increasing, because at the beginning of the shadow player's turn it is increased by 2 by default, but there are some other events and actions that can trigger it. For example, if a magical barrier is completed or a skill is developed, so it is increasing, and if it reaches 7, here you can see there is a decision point for the shadow hero, whether to use it and activate it or wait for it. If the shadow player use it, it will be set back to 0 and receives 1 darkness card. Just,
Let's look at them now.
yes, of course.
All influence tokens belong to you for the rest of the game. Wow.
It's very
Discard 2 players. Wow, they're really strong. Let's see what's there. The game ends 1 day earlier, so they can complete their game, their goal that easily. Remove all items. Wow, that looks really strong. And I can select a card when I reach the sacrificial altar at number 7. Correct?
it is randomly. You choose. You just draw.
Not round. If the shadow power is on 7.
Yeah.
And what if I wait for 9? What advantage would I have then?
If it is reaches a 9 or more, it is automatically set back to 0, and you will receive a darkness card. And and besides that, all heroes will lose 1 glory point.
1 hero, 1 glory
So
point.
it's just more stronger, but it also has a risk, because in one moment I will show you how sacrifices work, because the other players can decrease the shadow power and inactivate the sources of darknesses if they make sacrifices together.
They can inactivate them, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the darkness cards, yeah, very strong negative effects. So yeah, you don't want them.
Now I want them.
Yeah, if you play the shadows. Yeah.
And how do I gain the shadow power?
At the beginning of your turn, you receive 2 by default.
Yeah.
So by the time it is increasing, but there are other things that can increase. Here you can see on this character sheet the shadow power. So if a hero develops a skill,
Also by 2 at the start of your turn, by 1 when he develops a skill. We did not talk about skill developing up to now.
this is the skill development here. So
This is the skill development. Okay, we talked about it when we talked about clan mode. Okay. And optional by 2 when 5 relics are collected. 5 relics collected by me or by the other players?
by you.
By me, okay. Or instead receive 2 chosen items. By 2 when you reach 4, 7, or 10 glory points, and by 1 when a magical barrier is completed. So it's some kind of keep-up mechanism. Cool. Okay, the shadow power.
Actually, what you read here you can see this one. So when the other players actually could complete the magical barrier with 5 relics or 4, 7, 10 glory point, you can choose whether you want to receive 2 shadow power or 2 items. Of course, with them you can activate the sources of darknesses, so you can choose.
So it's my decision to pump up the shadow power volume, let's say volume, or the source of darkness skills. It's my decision as the shadow player. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third thing here with the shadow character is that the shadow character doesn't have an action card, and as you see, it doesn't have any skill like those ones. But this is the metamorphosis.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the game, you just choose one clan.
Yeah.
Let's say the engineer, and after that, at the beginning of your turn, it is moved forward to the next.
Okay.
And it means that in that turn, only in that turn, you can copy and simulate that clan. And it means here you can see three things. You can buy from that action card deck.
Really?
That's
cool.
Yeah, and the second is more interesting. You can use that character's already developed skills.
Wow.
In the skill path.
For the whole round.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, and the battle card modifiers on in the corner, maybe if you remember.
Yeah. I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the first time, maybe it is more difficult to play the shadow player because you have to listen and watch many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the shadow actually, and how the sacrifices work. The other players in their turn can sacrifice gold, mana, or items. And if they do it for 1 mana or for 1 gold or for 1 item, they can put their sacrifice token. So let's say the engineer takes that 2, the engineer 1, and so on.
It does not matter which resource they spend, just one resource and then...
Yeah, yes. So they collect sacrifices here.
Yeah.
And there are 3 things. The number of scars
Yeah.
means the number of the clan players. So if it's a 4-player game, which means there are 3 clan players, use this section. The number, the Arabic number, is the number of the sacrifices. So if somebody put the 6th sacrifice, there is a decision point to use it or not, or wait and be more efficient. And the number of the candle between the number means how many shadow power and or and or sources of darknesses items you can remove or decrease. So just an example, if you have 9 sacrifices here,
it's 2 candles.
It's 2 candles, and it means that one option decrease the shadow power by 2.
Understood. Yeah. Okay.
Second option, remove 2 items from the sources of darknesses, and with this one you can inactivate them because it's not full, or decrease shadow power. Yeah, exactly. So you can combine them.
Wow. So you can actively attack the shadow player and pull him back. You can pull him back. Yeah.
Yes, but of course it means resources from your side.
Yeah, great.
And as you see, it is more efficient because with 11 you can decrease by 3.
Yeah.
With 6 only And of course, it's also your decision and risk whether you want to use it because the shadow player can can decrease or eliminate and remove the sacrifices here from
Huh.
here.
How can he do that?
Uh, Here you can see the black magic,
Yeah.
and here it says pay 2 gold and remove 1 sacrificial token from the sacrificial altar. So, but the black magic, the black magic can you can do it only on your village. That that's the only
Okay.
limitation.
Okay. Yeah.
So
But the players, how will it work now in practice? You play a 4-player game, and the warrior starts with the sacrifice, and then comes the mage, and then comes the engineer, and they spend it, but then the shadow player has no chance in his village to sacrifice um,
yeah,
tokens.
yes, if they collect it in 1 turn,
In one turn. So if you definitely want to pull the shadow player back, you should not wait for him to get his turn.
um, yes, but there is another way because he can do it only on his village. So if he is far from a village
Then you could
you
wait. Yeah. Mm.
or you control that village, yeah. So
Hmm.
and I forgot to mention one thing. If the clan players use the sacrifices
Yeah.
and activates it, you have to check which because there was a bad experience in the past when 2 clan heroes put sacrifices there and worked together, and the third one did actually nothing and was just laughing and could win the game.
Yeah,
So
but this
because
is
of
this is semi-co-op Destiny. Yeah.
yes, but because of this, there is a rule. You have to check which player took the least sacrifices
Hmm.
when it is used, and that player will receive 1 curse token.
Aha. The one with the least sacrifice tokens. Hmm.
Yeah, and if you have um, more than 2 sacrifices token, you just can't win the game. So you can go to the Mara. Yeah.
Okay, and to discard, you have to spend 5 gold.
5 gold, which is very expensive, yes. Or if you put the most sacrifices here, you just can discard one.
Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, great. Yeah, cool.
Okay, I think this is so the solo mode.
Yep. Hmm.
Okay, if you play alone, let's say you play the warrior, this is the setup is a bit different. You start from your capital, and there will be only one lost soul starting from your capital, and the shadow player starts at the center.
So in solo mode, you just play against the shadow player.
Yes,
Hmm.
and your goal is to enter the Mara in time,
Hmm.
like in the normal game. But also here is a sheet where you will track the shadow power, the shadow players, the automatic shadow players victory point,
Hmm.
and you have 2 more victory point than this one. And how it works? It's very simple because there is an event card deck, and
One question. One question. Is the solo mode the same as if you would play cooperative because you have this solo co-op chance card, or is this fourth mode? And we are just talking about solo now.
Just solo mode. So
Okay.
the co-op mode is currently in progress. I'm in the
Okay.
development.
Yeah.
So yeah, just the solo mode, but will be similar.
Yeah, but it's enough for now. Clan mode, base mode, shadow mode, solo mode. You did a lot of work, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, and if somebody hears, yeah, I can tell this. Yes. So if somebody hears this during the Kickstarter campaign, there will be a stretch goal for the team mode, 2 versus 2.
Okay. Team mode also. Okay, cool.
That's very very different. So like a team 2 versus 2.
Mhm. But I think you will want to talk about that probably in an update during your Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, I will explain this. Yes.
Hmm. So
So the
let's
solo.
talk about solo now.
Yeah, yeah. So at the beginning of your turn, you will. Oh, I just wanted this one. Okay.
Hmm.
Play event. So take event cards, and one event card face up on the black, and two event cards on those cards face down.
Hmm.
And after this, you just do your turn as normal. Nothing special.
Like we talked about it in the
Yeah.
clan mode.
Yes.
Hmm.
And at, after your turn ended, you will activate one of the event cards. And which card? It depends on the dice, because you will roll the die, and the background color, which says which one.
So the middle
And
card, on the yellow
yeah,
green
which
book.
is which will be a surprise in this case because it is face down.
Hmm.
And here you can see the chance for the card, because we have 3 black sides from the 6. It has 50% that you will activate this card.
Hmm. Can you explain the card, how it works?
Yeah. So the first part here, it says increase the shadow power by
Yeah,
this one.
by one.
So
Okay.
by 1. Increase the shadow victory point by this one. So here, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, this is the movement of the shadow player, and it has some options. I will show you. Perfect. So one option can be, if you see a location image here, this is the market actually, but can be different.
Okay.
It means move the shadow of player to the closest location from that type.
To the
Because
closest
there
from
is
that
only,
type. Hmm.
yeah, because there is only one market, okay, move to the market, but it can be the castle, in this case, the closest castle.
Hmm.
This is move the shadow hero 1 range away from your hero. Okay, one is a range between the locations. So they are the range. For example, if I'm standing here,
Hmm.
this is one range, one range, one range, one range. But this is, for example, range 2. You see?
Yeah.
Range 2, range 2. This is range 3.
Hmm.
And this is the opposite. Move the shadow hero 1 range closer to your hero.
Yeah.
Okay, the next is, and the range is important because of this. Shadow hero automatically captures all capturable locations within range, within 2 range. All
Really?
castles, villages, fortresses within 2 range.
Okay. Will automatically capture all capturable. Whoa, that's strong.
Yeah. So this action is usually range based.
Hmm.
So, for example, you can't perform location actions within range and so on. And the last one is usually activate one of sources of darkness, but can be another. So it's just an event.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, receive 3 curse tokens. That sucks.
Wow, 3 curse tokens seems to
Yeah,
be
but
it's really
yeah,
hard. The curse tokens are the one we talked about
yeah,
when we talked about the shadow mode, and you can't win the game when you have 2 of these curse tokens.
yes,
So you
yes,
have to remove them.
yes.
Mm?
Yeah. So those are the cards. But here on this sheet,
Yeah.
where on the right side you track the shadow power victory point, on the left side there are some options that, yeah, it can be hard decision whether when it is worth to use, because, yeah, for example, after activate an event, so you see what kind of events are
Yeah.
waiting for you.
Yeah.
Cancel the effect of the event 1 or event 2. Yeah, this is the event 1 and this is the event 2.
So the upper is the event 1 and the downmost is the event 2.
Yes, and you can choose, well, you want to pay 3 gold,
So I
or
could pay 7 gold and discard the whole card.
you will do those parts.
But the 2 events would be ignored if I would be able to pay 7 gold.
Exactly.
Wow, but that's expensive. You will never have the
Well,
chance to pay 7 gold.
yeah, it's actually one whole turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can combine it. So your decision if you want to pay with gold or increase the shadow power victory point here.
You can also increase the victory points. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe it seems to be easier, but later it will hurt you. Yeah.
But if you increase the victory points, then the shadow player will win.
If you, yeah, probably, but if you do it once or maybe twice, and if you are very good, I mean, you will have many victory points. Maybe you can do it, but for sure, if you do it multiple times, there is not a big chance for winning the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, this is a very good, because here you can see this will increase the shadow victory point with 7. That's
Wow.
big, and for that, this is the third help.
Yeah.
Don't increase the shadow victory point, and
Okay, and
the cost is rounded up. So in this case, 4 gold, 7.
7 divided to 3, 2 rounded up. It's 4 gold. Okay, understand.
So it's your decision, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just the last thing is the battle works very easily. So you calculate your combat powers as normal, as we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, just draw here an event card, and in the corner you see a number. So draw that many battle cards and just add some sum up the combat powers on those cards.
So 5 is the base power of the shadow player plus.
No. Just draw 5 cards in this case.
5 cards. Because the
Yeah,
5 is just for the shadow player mode, not for the solo
and
mode.
the clan mode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wow. 5 cards I think is enough.
This, fellow board gamers, was Legacy of Thracks, and I was honored to have Balasz here again, who presented the Shadow Player mode and, of course, the Solo Co-op mode. But please keep in mind that if you like to listen to the German feedback, we have a feedback at the end of the video. Use the next timestamp and skip this section. So, Shadow Player mode, where one of us takes over the role of a mighty being. Here it's the Shadow Player. A mighty being like in Descent, it was the Overlord. In Kemet, it was Seth. A being much more powerful than all the other players, and all the other players have to work against me. But I, as the Shadow Player, I have unique and very strong abilities, which I use to prevent the other players reach their goal. That means I have to work against them so that they will never reach Demara. And how do I do it? As the shadow player, I increase my power to draw darkness cards, which hinder the enemy heroes, the clan heroes, to reach their goal. Even more fascinating, the sources of darkness, which I can activate with relics, with crystals, and I unlock special abilities which change the whole course of the game. Very, very strong. And don't forget about the metamorph skills, because I, as the shadow player, can use all the actions, the boards, the cards of the engineer, of the mage, of the knight, which feels very, very great. And I can change my play every single round. And don't forget about the black magic ability, which I can use to purchase battle cards, destroy heroes, and so on, the magical barriers, which feels very, very strong. While on the one hand, that feels very strong, on the other hand, there are, of course, 3 heroes. The clan heroes, they work together. Of course, they try to reach their goal best, but they have the opportunity to make sacrifices which work against what I did. They can just destroy my sources of darkness. And here, this is what the game excels most, I can tell you. Of course, there is the solo co-op experience. I tried it one single time, and Balasz, of course, shows me in this video. You saw it. It works really well. I'm not the one who is playing solo games that often, but definitely I can tell you it really works. But yeah, I love the shadow play most. An der Stelle sind wir also durch. Ich habe euch versprochen, es gibt auch noch ein deutschsprachiges Review. Wir haben heute von Balasz gesehen den Shadow Player Mode und den Solo Coop Mode. Der Solo Coop Mode ist eine coole Sache. Ich habe es einmal ausprobiert. Ich bin jetzt nicht so der Solo-Spieler, kann euch aber sagen, es funktioniert großartig. Du hast dann die 3 Helden, also Magier, Engineer und Warrior. Spielst gegen diesen von der AI gesteuerten Shadow Player. Aber ganz ehrlich, Leute, der Shadow Mode, wer mich kennt, der weiß genau, das ist es, was mich in dieses Spiel reinzieht. Diese Faszination, die wir bei Descent 1 hatten, bei Descent 2 hatten, bei Kemet, bei vielen anderen Spielen, wo wir einen übermächtigen Spieler am Spieltisch hatten, mit einzigartigen Fähigkeiten, und alle anderen am Spieltisch, die mussten zusammenarbeiten, um ihn aufzuhalten. Und genau so ist es hier bei Legacy of Thracks. Und ich kann als Shadow Player eben die Darkness-Karten ziehen. Die Darkness-Karten, die kann ich dann wiederum einsetzen, um ganz punktuell gegen die Clan Heroes vorzugehen und ihnen einfach den Spielzug zu vermiesen. Und das fühlt sich so gut an. Und damit nicht genug, denn viel, viel stärker ist es, die Relikte und Kristalle zu benutzen, um diese Sources, also die Quellen der Dunkelheit, zu aktivieren. Und da gibt es eine Menge auf diesem Shadow Player Board. Und ihr könnt einzigartige Umgebungsbedingungen damit schaffen, mit denen ihr das Spiel einfach umkrempelt und es den Helden, je nachdem, was sie tun, unfassbar schwer macht. Also ihr reagiert damit auf strategischer Metaebene gegen den Spielzug der Helden. Und das ist ganz, ganz großes Kino. Gucken wir uns nochmal den Metamorph-Skill an. Das ist eine ganz, ganz tolle Idee, denn als Shadow-Player können wir jeden Zeitpunkt, den wir an der Reihe sind, können wir in die Rolle eines der Helden, also Mage, Engineer oder eben Krieger schlüpfen, können deren Decks, deren Playerboards nutzen. Das ist eine ganz, ganz tolle Sache. Ja, und damit noch nicht genug Black Magic Abilities. Ja, damit können wir natürlich die Battle Cards ziehen, zerstören. Wir können uns einfach Battle Cards ziehen, ja, von den Clan Heroes. Wir können sogar wieder Barrieren zerstören. Das fühlt sich alles sehr, sehr stark an, und das ist es auch. Aber ich bin als Schattenspieler alleine, und als Clan Hero kann ich zusammenarbeiten. Und zwar nicht nur über Tabletalk, ich kann mich nicht nur absprechen, sondern ich kann ja ganz bewusst meine Ressourcen opfern, um wieder diese Darkness, also Sources of Darkness, rückgängig zu machen. Und Leute, ich sage euch, das ist ein Fest. Also hier, das ist der Modus, in dem das Spiel meiner Wahrnehmung nach am meisten brilliert. Schreibt uns in die Kommentare, was euch an dem Spiel interessiert. Wir können auf alles antworten an der Stelle. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, ihr kennt das Ganze, Daumen nach oben, ein Abo, if you like it. Please leave a subscription for the channel. I hope you had a lot of fun with that video. Personally, I really love the game. I can't wait to table Legacy of Thrack's. Das war's. Ich bin an der Stelle raus. Marcel von den Herren der Spiele. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet eine Menge Spaß. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, euer Marcel.